down in Seward, Alaska today. We're gonna get on one of these ocean boats and go on a 6-hour tour. Won't you join us here at Modern Homestead Alaska? Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. We are Aaron and Jessica Milnes. We are building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska, with the help of 3 of our children. Our second son, Caleb, our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt, along with our 3 dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and the newest addition, Roberto. On the day that we went to the tour in Seward, Alaska, the weather was mid. We had a little bit of sunshine every now and again, but mostly it was cloudy and overcast. The road to Seward, though, is just spectacular.
4th Avenue, then the destination is on your left.
Oh, it's right here with the train.
Yep, that's it. This 361. This is the major marine thing where we
You want to drive them down so they can see
can come back. We got
the
time.
little town?
The destination is on your left.
We just cruise the town for a minute. We'll come back, but this is where we gotta go.
If it had been clear, I would have taken you on a much more beautiful drive of the town of Seward. However, we are trying to protect the camera from the rain, thus we cannot get the best footage, but it clears up when we get on the boat, so let's head over to the dock.
Rules, considerations that we all have to go over, so if I could please have everyone's attention for the next few minutes. First and foremost, there is one rule on this boat that supersedes any other rule, and it's a pretty simple one. That rule is stay on the boat. So that's going to mean from you guys, by extension, please, absolutely no running, no jumping, no climbing on or over any rails or on any benches or seats. It's also a good idea when moving about the vessel to always maintain 3 points of contact. What is it? right-hand side of the boat. Now this is an active boat channel, so I can't stop. But I can go by like this fast, pretty slow here. So we'll have a bald eagle coming down the right side here. Largest birds in North America. One of those eagles was standing on the boat right next to you. They're about 2.5 feet tall and they have a 7-foot wingspan. I know we saw one as we were leaving the harbor, but definitely a little more natural setting here.
So far we have gotten to see some bald eagles, and then this is the first ocean creature. It is a Dall's porpoise, and they are found oftentimes riding in the bow waves of larger boats. So they are often mistaken as being the killer whale. However, they are not, even though their coloring is somewhat similar. And then also they are a porpoise, so they're in the same family as a dolphin.
She really wanted to see.
And then Aaron spotted for the whole boat off in the distance a fin whale. The fin whale is the second largest species in all of the earth after the blue whale. There's not a whole lot known about these whales. They're not super social, so they don't come up right alongside of the boat. They are simply massive, and they were once thought to be extinct. However, now they have populations that are coming back, and maybe some research in the future will be done on these whales and how spectacular and large they happen to be. They like to dive, and then they don't show off with the big tail in the air. They don't do any of those things. However, they are a magnificent creature, and we were super blessed to learn so much about them and to actually see more than one pod of them on our tour on this day.
Hopefully this big boat has brakes. It's all now, so we're gonna see it too. That's keen.
It's a
That's...
peach.
Wish I had let that tail up on.
He said they're not very show-offy. Oh, they're hollow. There you go. Oh, look at him sleeping right there. Oh my gosh.
On the pop-up throughout these little islands here, it is covered in something called a Steller sea lion. There were so many of them just tucked into the nooks and crannies and crevices of these little islands here. They also kept their distance. They hung out on the rocks. They weren't actively coming up to the boat or anything like that, but they were an incredibly beautiful sight to see.
Oh yeah. Look at.
The name of the tour is named after the national park that we are in, the Kenai Fjords National Park. Fjord is spelled F-J-O-R-D, and according to National Geographic, it is a long, deep, narrow body of water that reaches far inland. Fjords are often set in a U-shaped valley with steep walls of rock on either side. Fjords are found mainly in Norway, Chile, New Zealand, Canada, Greenland, and the U.S. state of Alaska. What is unique about our park is that it is only accessible by water. It is inaccessible by land, and it is mostly glacier and then the mountains shooting up out of the ocean. It is incredible to have visited the national park.
Yeah. Alaska's doing what Alaska does best in rain, but it is too beautiful to be inside.
Nope. One of those fins.
And here we have a few humpback whales. The humpback whale is actually up here feeding, and it is going to get nice and fat before it travels down to Hawaii, at which point it will not eat for months. So the humpback whales are very, very slow moving. They do kind of show off with the tail if you can get close enough to get pictures of that. But they stay kind of right there at the surface for us, and that was also a beautiful experience to get to see those as well. So far we've seen 2 whales, some porpoise, lots of different kinds of birds, and the glaciers that are off in the distance, and then here soon we will head to the big glacier. I was curious if you've noticed the color of the water. It is this beautiful turquoise, just like the Kenai River and other bodies of water up here. And it is said that if you were to go out there in the dead of winter, that it would be clear, that this is some sort of, I can't remember whether it's an algae or bacteria or the minerals, but there's something in the ocean up here that is alive and well when we're getting all of the sun, causing this color in the water. And then in the winter, when it dies back, the water is actually clear.
Humpbacks are pretty chill for the most part. They usually only spend about 3 miles.
The ice field that is in this national park actually expands beyond this national park here in the southern part of Alaska, and it is over 700 square miles of ice. And all of the amazing information we got about the glaciers is just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, some of the ice in which is coming off of these glaciers can be hundreds, if not up to 1,000 years old. It is absolutely mind-boggling, the density of glacier ice and all of the science and whatnot that encompasses it.
glacial calving or glacial activity. I have no idea if it's going to happen while we're here, but it can happen literally anywhere you see ice in front of us. Once we get up here, I'll kind of park the boat and we'll kind of put one side of the boat towards the glacier, and then about halfway through our stay, we'll switch sides. And it's going to look like we're really close to the glacier, but these things are so big, the scale's very deceptive. We'll still be about a quarter mile away, so I guess what I'm getting at is it takes about a second for the sound to travel. So if we are lucky enough to see some activity today, and if you hear something and then you look, you already missed it. So just keep your eyes on the ice. With binoculars, you can see all these dark spots on the ice floe in front of us. Those are all harbor seals. This is where they live. This is their home. They rely on these ice floes.
If you go on one of these cruises, dress for winter regardless of the time of the year, because it was incredibly cold, and I don't know why we thought going to visit ice wasn't going to be that cold. We did have some hoodies and sweatshirts, but let me recommend some hats and gloves. The footage that is going to come in just a second is off of a cell phone, and unfortunately it is not as good of quality as what the GoPro does. However, it is an incredible video of the glacier is going to calve, which means it's going to break off and fall into the ocean. And according to those that do this every single day as a tour, this is a huge amount of calving, or a huge piece of ice breaks off the glacier. Aaron was able to capture it on his cell phone, so we of course own the footage, and I am going to share that with you now. They do move the boat before the wave gets there in order to take on the wave just quite gently, actually, but it does send off big waves off of the glacier into the water when it drops that amount of ice. And keep in mind, like he said earlier, we're about a quarter of a mile away from the glacier, so it takes just a second for that water and so on, and that gave them plenty of time to move the boat. But that was so incredible to witness. And now it is time to head back in. We did the 6-hour cruise. They have some shorter and some longer cruises. And I will just put a little information of the cruise line that we used, and then you could decide that for yourself. However, they do dip some of the iceberg out of the water and they make margaritas. So you can enjoy yourself a blue margarita on your way back from your tour.
Fjords, I think.
Fjords. We just got done with the Glacier tour, and what did you think?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The Glacier was calving. What do they call that?
Calving.
Calving, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Take the video.
Super neat. So thank you those of you who have joined us, stuck around all the way to the end, and we hope that you choose to join us in the future. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button. When you ring the bell, you get notification. Thumbs up and comments all help our channel to grow. We super look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.